Hi, this is Lynn from Devine Central, and I'm here with Claire Lilly. She and I met at a Vincent Petici Zoom gathering. There's
That's
so many interesting and fun people that we meet at these things. And what intrigued me the most about you was that you would just come out with your own deck. And I want to talk about that at the other end. But the first thing I wanted to know was, well, first, why don't you tell people a little bit about your background and how on earth you came to start doing fairs and festivals?
Hi. Oh, thank you for inviting me onto your YouTube channel. This is exciting. Um, I've been involved in tarot astrology, numerology since I was about 17, and I'm a lot older now. So I've been around tarot astrology and numerology since I was about 17. And recently, well, last few years, I decided to take a proper course and get mentored to be able to read tarot properly for people, not just having fun with your friends. And after joining courses and doing some training, I felt that it was time to get myself out there and just help people in the community. That was about a year ago now. So it wasn't that
Wow.
long that I started doing the fairs and
Fairs.
festivals.
Yeah, that's amazing. So when you did your first one, when you got out and did your well, first place, what area are you in? Where are you?
I'm okay. I'm in Illinois, USA. I'm actually not far from St. Louis.
Okay,
So
Southern
just
Illinois.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So out when you did your first one, if you can remember the first one, because it wasn't that long ago,
No, it wasn't.
were there anything about that that stood out? I mean, was there any expectations that were like more than met, or anything you said, "Oh, if I did this all over again, I would have done it this first"? Was there anything about that first time out that you can tell us about?
Yeah, where I actually started was there's a little place called Melody Lane Sanctuary, and it's a very new um, sort of sanctuary for people who don't just. It's not just for tarot reading; it's for Reiki and massage and angel readings and oracle cut. It's a little bit of a eclectic mix, really, and they've only just started. So it's in this old church, which is wonderful. It's a beautiful little setting and I really didn't know what to expect. I just sort of went in there and got my table set up. One thing I did do, which I'm glad I did, was to have actually somebody sitting to the side of me instead of opposite, like an interview. Yeah, that was really good. My timing is horrendous. A 15-minute reading isn't 15 minutes. It goes on a bit longer than that. So that's something I had to really pay attention to
Yeah,
because you get chatting with people.
right. Because those times will get you. You know, it's easy, isn't it? You know, to
Oh, very much so. Very much so. And people love to talk about themselves. That's what I'm here to do is help people and to talk about situations they're in and how they can, how I can help them look at things from a different perspective and different
right.
angle.
Yeah, it's so funny because you and I share so much of the same upbringing. You know, we've been doing it for years and years, and in and out of it, and then corporate America took over, and the whole life takes over, and then it's like one day it's like, you know what, I'm getting a mentor, I'm getting a coach, and I'm going to get serious, and because we both did that, we both came out of corporate, but it's like corporate had such demands on me. And I worked in kind of a nasty little field. I mean, I had to renegotiate contracts with, like unions and stuff. And so it's like I would start every day with somebody not liking me. So to be able to sit down and read for somebody and help them was amazing, and really you kind of need that in your life, and you kind of just gravitate toward it, So that's kind of like you and I kind of share a lot of that. Tell me,
Absolutely.
tell me about any, I don't know how many events you've done so far, but I know you have a couple of cute stories about things that have happened to you. Tell us a couple of them.
One was really fun. Well, I had this couple that came up to me, and I don't read for couples. I don't read for two people sitting in front of me because there's often things that will come out their partner or their friend doesn't know about, and it's not my story to tell them. So this couple came up, and the girl was very sort of wanting to sit down and listen. He sat next to me like I've never done this before. Not in, I'm doing it for her. And I said, okay, well, let's just do a reading. And
But
I
he was a skeptic then.
very much so,
Okay.
very much. So, but his energy was wonderful. I tend to read with energy a lot. I can sense
Me
what
too.
how people are feeling anyway. And I had to ask her to leave for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't want her to be there because that's not the way I work. And I was going through the cards with him, and she could hear me, and she's going, yeah, yeah, and tell her this, and yeah. And in the end, I had to stop and say, I'm sorry, would you mind? And she's like, yeah, yeah, no worries. And I just looked at him. I said, so when are you going to propose then? His face dropped. It's like, how did you know? And it was, as I say, a mix of the energy and the cards, and he'd had the ring sorted out. He was going to propose on her birthday, which was last week. Amazing, amazing. And he was just like, wow, I don't know how you know that.
And yet you now have a new believer. That
Oh, absolutely. And it was great. And it was just one of those moments where I'm glad I didn't say anything that could have spoiled the surprise.
that's fun. That's really fun. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, it's like, no two events are the same. It's like you run into so many fun and unusual people. So, a lot of people want to know about, a lot of people that are watching this series that I've been doing are, getting into it and looking for all the little things. But a lot of people are interested in how much time you spend and what, maybe what spread do you do? One spread really well? Do you do them on the fly? How do you do that? And then what do you charge where you are? I mean, because every area is a little different.
Right, absolutely. I can do that one first. Um, the way this lady has set up her sanctuary is that everybody is charged the same price, no matter if you go to myself, to her, oracle reader, angel reader. It's all $30 for 15 minutes. People sign in and ask who they want, or they just go for the next reader available. And it seems to work well. So if somebody wants to have a half-hour session at $60. It's fairly straightforward. So that's actually quite nice.
But she's collecting for you,
No, we actually collect, and then we pay her
right? So
almost for our spot.
right. So you're just paying for the rent for the spot, and then you get to keep all the money.
Yes, if you like. The way she does it is it's $100 a day if you've earned 200.
Okay.
So 200 and so up to 200, she'll take 50% with a maximum of $100. If I do a $400 day, then she gets the 100, I get the rest.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's fair. I think because sometimes we have busy events like, and sometimes there is dead as a dodo. So
Sure.
the sitter doesn't, we don't sit there and have to pay her 100 when there's not anybody coming in.
Yeah.
But this sanctuary, I say, it's still quite new, so they're gathering momentum.
That's pretty.
Yes, it is.
Do you have one spread that you do, or how do you decide on that?
Right. I had to play with this a little bit because I wasn't sure how I was going to read and the type of person that came in or the questions. So I started by doing like a 3 card.
Mhm.
I started shuffling. I let them shuffle. It didn't quite work that way. So what I do now is I shuffle pre the next person coming in. I use selenite crystal, which you can see here. I always put my cards on my crystal just to charge it up again. Um, and I sort of leave the cards and I push them in front of the person and I fan them out. And I talk to them a little bit, let them pick the cards. I typically do a Celtic cross. I think you do the same.
I do.
Typically do a Celtic cross because that tends to cover most areas. Um, Occasionally I'll do a 3 card spread, then I'll add to it. It
Right.
really depends on the question. Celtic cross typically is my go-to though.
Yeah, the Celtic cross is so versatile, and I mean, people that don't know it are kind of afraid of it, just because I think it just kind of has a bad rap. But there is so much you can garner out of that spread. But what people don't realize until they get a lot of experience at it is you don't have to use every card in every spread that you do. I mean, some of them can just be supporting role players, but they don't actually have to have a major role in your reading. So
Absolutely. And something else I've learned whilst doing these fairs, because you've got 15 minutes, you've got to pick out the real made. You end up finding 2 or 3 cards that hit you. And it's they're the ones that are the main answer to the
Sure.
question almost, and the rest are almost supporting that role. What I also like to do is to let the client look at the cards and see if there's one that they're interested in. Because sometimes you get people who like reading tarot or play with it, double with it. They're interested in it. And the reading's about them, not me. It's me interpreting messages. And if they pick up on a card, I say to them, what do you see in it? Because I
Right.
might not see what they see at that moment. So my job really in a role is when somebody is really stuck and can't see the wood for the trees, is open up other ideas to them. And they end up sometimes coming out with their own answer, which is fabulous.
Sure. And that's where pictorial decks make such a big difference. It's some people, prefer to read with pip decks, where there's no pictures, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's like I'll draw like the 5 of Pentacles in a, relationship. It's like they'll go, yeah, I know exactly what that means.
Right.
And then that if you can draw them in and have them be part of that conversation, and it's
Absolutely.
much more helpful to them. It's just amazing.
That's all I say to them. This is your reading. You and I have a conversation and I can
Right.
tell you what the cards are telling me. And it's amazing when they sit down and go, oh God, I didn't think of that. And yet that makes so much sense now.
Yeah. It
Um,
does. I think
it's
it's you know, don't you? I think they've always I think that before they even sit down at the table, they kind of know the score, but they just can't process it. They can't seem to wrap their head around, or they don't, or they're in denial, a little bit of denial. And sometimes, and 10 of Swords, splat right in front of you can really, wake them up and help them see, okay, yeah, this is the writing's been on the wall, type thing. And no, I have to accept it, or I have to see it for what it is.
absolutely. And it's amazing. The pictures, something you haven't even seen in the cards, they'll see.
Right.
And it'll just trigger and I go, oh my God, now I get it. And I think the other thing with readers like us is that we prove it's validation. They want validation.
Yeah.
Somebody they've never met, they don't know, and they're like, "How do you know this?"
Yeah.
And it's that intuitive side, it's that connecting with them
Yeah.
side. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing, and the cards really just help tell a story.
They do. I firmly believe there's no magic per se in the cards. It's, to me, it's spirit driven. So that's kind of what I go by. So listen, any advice for aspiring tarot readers that want to do fairs and festivals? What would you tell them if they came to you and said, "Should I do a fair or a festival?" What advice would you give them?
Oh, it's one of the most amazing things is to connect with like-minded people who love this arena. It's becoming very, I'm gonna say fashionable, but it's always been around. It's
Yeah.
at the forefront. But to go out there and meet people, and the bit for me is you might just help one person that day
Mhm.
see something, understand something, and it's all worth it. It really is all worth it. Um, I don't go in as a fortune teller. I don't dress up as one. I go in as me. And I think again that gives credibility. And just enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's so rewarding. It's tiring. Make sure you have lots of water with you because you end up talking a lot. But it's so rewarding seeing these people going out with a plan of action for themselves or
Yeah.
some validation or confirmation or something you've said without meeting them before. And what happened for me now is I'm actually getting regulars. I've
Yeah.
actually got people who
Do
come
you
to me
find people contact you away from the event, or do they just wait for the event to show up?
both. Both. I have people contact me outside of the event.
It's
I have got people contact me and they say, "Are you going to be at the event this week?" And I'll see you there. And it's almost like you
That's
have
where most of my fairs and festival reading clients tend to, what's your schedule? And then we line up. I mean, I've had like 4 people come in and, hurry up to sign up, in the morning for as soon as I get to an event. I get more of that than I do having them contact me outside of the events. They like to come. I think they just love the events, but the nice thing about the events is when people come, they don't come just to get one tarot reading and go home. They want one or two tarot readings. They want a Reiki. They want a chakra cleaning. They want, an aura photography. They want to pick up a few pieces of jewelry and some stones and hour in a day, so.
Oh,
they-
absolutely. And they're bringing their friends too, which is fun.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
get themselves a little day out. I had a couple, she brought her sister-in-law in. And it's like, we come out, we're going for lunch, we're coming to see people and
Make a day. That's true.
make a day of it, make a half a day of it. And it's such a lovely atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the energy, you
Yeah.
walk and the energy is so positive and upbeat.
Right.
And I think
You can feel it. I mean, when you walk in the morning and you're setting up, I mean, you just tingle. Your toes tingle from all the energy in the room. It's
absolutely.
so. Claire, you have a deck. What possessed you to do a deck? You created a deck and you've published it now.
Yes, I have.
Tell us about the deck.
Yeah, sure. It's called Art and Lily's Tarot Deck, and it started in COVID when my husband's niece was hanging around me. I used to do a lot of email readings because of COVID. We couldn't see people, and she'd literally come up to me and sit down and look at the cards. I had different decks and stuff while I did my work, and eventually she said, "Can I have a deck?" And she was 11, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "Speak to your mum." So we said, "Yeah, she can have a deck." I said, "I'll find you one." So I went hunting out there and I couldn't find one. It was either too dark or it was too babyish, like Hello Kitty. And being 11, it's just not. So I said, "You know what? Let's create one together."
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, why not? So it was a very sort of throwaway comment, and it escalated from that. We both had a couple of rules. We both wanted family in there. I wanted it to be very diverse. I didn't want any imagery which was too dark for that age group.
Right.
So Aunt Lee's tarot deck came to be.
Yeah. Show us. You have a couple of pictures there, or
I
a couple
do.
right there.
I do. I wasn't going to
show
do
us.
this. I wasn't going to actually.
I saw a couple of times. Yeah, there was. I can't remember which one. Was it Strength that I liked so much? I think. Oh, is that the one you have? Look at that. Hold it a little closer. That is.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
There you go. That is Strength, and therein lies a cancer.
Yes.
A child with cancer hugging the bear or the lion.
Lion. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the artwork you have in that is just delicious. It really is. It's a beautiful deck, and
Thank you.
yeah, where can people get that?
Where can people get it? Yeah, ClaireLily.com.
Okay.
So it's Claire CLAIRE and then LILY.com, and they're on there. There's only 1,000 made. I wasn't really gonna publish it, and I had some friends go, "Oh, can I have a copy?" So I managed.
Then you got on the Vince Bertucci show. Nice for baseball. I know, isn't that amazing? I mean, his reach is startling. It's like that's what I like. A lot of the people from my channel came from, were from his channel. It's from watching.
Yeah.
They
I love the way he reads. It's very sort of
yeah. And I'm not even a pet deck writer, but I'm a Marseille deck person. And it's so funny because, but yet I love listening to him. I love watching him. I love his concepts. Concept it's fresh, it's unique. And so that makes it great. Well, are you going to be coming now over? He's taking a sabbatical right now. Are you going to be coming over to the conceptual branding and tarot Facebook group for it? Because Devine has started a Zoom that anybody is welcome to join at noon on the second Tuesday of the month, and it's going to be on that news feed, the feed, for that page.
okay.
As
Absolutely. It's
So-
in my diary for next week, actually.
Yeah, next week. It's next Tuesday. I'm kind of
Next Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you being here, and I'll put all the information about your site and how to reach you and your deck down below. And
Awesome.
you stick around and I'll say goodbye to everybody else and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.